Hello, everyone. Welcome to our lightning lesson on the manager's playbook for governing AI agents. Companies are now racing to adopt, but how to govern them? And that is what we are going to talk today. I'm Niharika Srivastav. I'm a certified AI governance practitioner. I have extensive experience in regulated industries that really made me passionate about compliance and governance. I did my executive leadership program from Stanford. I co authored a visual and comic guide to cybersecurity with Sanjay. I'm a radio host and also a Maven instructor on AI governance. I have with me Sanjay Saxena. He's fractional chief AI officer. He has 30 plus years of experience in Deloitte, KPMG, healthcare, finance, and he has an executive MBA from Harvard Business School. He's a CISSP, the co-author of the visual book on cybersecurity, a radio host, and a Maven instructor.
And our new book is coming soon. And today we're going to be teaching few things from our new book. Anyway,
Now, what is the reality of new manager? Earlier, the managers used to manage human employees, but now, as managers, we are also required to manage digital employees, which are AI agents. And the AI agents can decide, they can act, they can spend, and by spending, I mean spending money. They can speak on your company's behalf, and they can create risks at machine speed.
so bottom line is that if you're a manager, you are used to managing people, but remember now the new era is managing digital employees. And that's what we mean by AI agents, right?
Looks like agent has more power than me. I want to be an agent.
Those agents are really fast. They do things in milliseconds. If one thing they are doing wrong, within a second, they must have done 1,000 things wrong, right?
And by the end of this session, in next 30 to 35 minutes, what are we going to talk about? We always start with basics. So we'll start with the journey of AI. Then we are going to talk about what the risks are now with the new AI agents. And we will give you 3 steps to govern agents. I mean, there are multiple steps, but we'll start with something you can implement Monday morning.
Okay, so let's talk about intelligence. What is intelligence? Let's just, everybody knows what is intelligence. Everybody knows what is artificial intelligence. But in this context of teaching what we're going to teach, let's understand what is intelligence. So humans, we are intelligent, right? Or not? Yeah, we are intelligent. How does this intelligence work? That we learn something from our five senses, like touching, smelling, the five senses, right? That means we grab the data and it goes our brain, and then brain is now processes that data, finds the patterns, and then you can make decisions based upon that. You can do reasoning, you can do creativity, all that. So that's human intelligence. What about artificial intelligence? Do they have five senses? No. So how do they learn? Then that means we have to provide a lot of data. So for example, smelling, if we have to teach the smelling part to artificial intelligence, then we have to give them the smell looks like spongy, it looks like this, it was grown like that. This is the reaction of the people if they are tasting it. So all those lot of information has to be fed to the machines, that is computers. So then they learn and then they identify the patterns, and then they can also do the things like humans do. A lot of things, not everything, right? So artificial intelligence is what they can do then. They can create things, like they can be creative, they can predict things for you and all that. Let's see what that means. The journey of AI from prediction to agency. In 1990s there used to be AI. Actually, in fact, AI was first used in 1950s, but since there were not enough resources, like not fast computers and data, like databases smart, so they were not there, so it couldn't happen. But first time predictive AI was introduced in 1990s, when people, simple example if I give you, like 2 4 6, what's next? 8, right? But this is a simple example. If you have to predict some anything like financial data, or maybe the weather, or so many business use cases are there for predictive AI, so that has been used for a long time. Then came suddenly ChatGPT in 2023, and then that's where people started learning about what is AI is, and that's called generative AI. It generates things. What does it generate? images, code base. Tell me what else? Text, your resume maybe, other data and videos.
Images, video, anything.
Yes, beautiful. Then 2024, people started thinking of, oh, this is not good enough to have generative AI only. Let's do something more with it. So they came up something called AI agents. So AI agents are like the digital employees, like the human employees. So you give them a task, they will use their own brain and then find out how the task has to be done. And then it knows what are the different tools that they have to use and then accomplish the task. So they are AI agents. They are working since 2024. 2025 and 6 is where we are right now. We are in the agentic AI world, agentic AI realm. It decides autonomously. So what is agentic AI? Agentic AI is a combination of multiple AI agents, like multiple digital employees and humans working together to accomplish a task or run a company. So that's agentic AI. Cool enough? What is an AI agent? A little bit of more detail. It's a software that can work towards goal, make decisions, use tools, take action, and without a human approving every step. So that's AI agent. It works towards a goal. Like, for example, I gave book my ticket book my ticket for this conference. So now it plans, it makes decisions, it goes to your Gmails and finds out, oh, have you registered for any conferences, where it is, what kind of things you like to stay in the hotel, or where do you want to sit in on the plane, like window seat or not, other than makes decision, and then uses tools like going to the calendar and then books the calendar for you, and then the tool like kayak.com for booking the tickets, and then you're using your wallet, maybe secure wallet for the credit card information. It does everything using all those tools, and then finally what you get, your ticket is booked like the way you want it. So this is a human agent. This is an AI agent. Why is this different? Let's talk about AI, why AI is different. So traditional software follows your instructions, does exactly what you told it to do. Let me pause here. You have been using software for a long time, right? Traditional software, so without AI. So what happens? In traditional software, the response of any problem is always same. So if you say 2 plus 2, it's always going to be 4. But in case of generative AI, it is creative. That means it predicts things. It's not always 1 plus 1 is equal to 2 or 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. It can be different also. Let me give you an example. If you right after this webinar, if you go to your computer, chat GPT and say, create a dog picture, and then a picture will be generated. But right after that, if you do the same command again in the chat GPT, your dog is not going to be same. So that's generative AI. So that's a problem, that because it predicts, it's not deterministic, it's predictive. And then AI agents, like they take action, they decide, they execute. Like I said in the AI agents, it uses its own brain, so it can do things wrong also. Yeah, Harika.
Okay, so quick quiz. Just put it in chat. Do you know that how many tools or agents, and by tools, AI tools, are being used in your company? If you have an idea, just say yes. If you don't have an idea, say no. And we'll move on. I'll be watching the chat and we can go to the next one. And with all this, what is the problem for managers? The problem is that now agents, they move faster than the traditional oversight we can have on them. And by the time, as a manager, when you review what happened, the agent has already acted and dozens of times and at great speed.
What is AI governance? AI governance is the set of rules, processes, and responsibilities that guide how AI is built, deployed, and used. Let me just show you one of the things is missing, Niharika. Huh? One of the slides is again missed. what is AI governance. So before this, actually, I wanted to show this one. Think about that you are going to eat in a restaurant. Do you think if it is ungoverned and you're going to eat there? No. Why? Because if there's no rules, then people will be making things on their own. They may not be washing hands, they not be doing so many other things like temperature maintained. The food should not be stale. All those regulations are governance. So for example, step one is clear rules. Health code established. They have to follow the health code. Number two, monitoring. That means food inspectors keep coming off and on suddenly to check if you're following all the rules. And then there's a success, right? If they are following the rules, that means that the restaurant is good and you can go and eat. But if they are not following, they are going to be closed. So that's the hotel management governance. So what is AI governance? Think about that. In here itself, you created a digital employee, which is AI agent or agentic AI, and they are working together. Do you know that they make their own decisions? They have their own brain. Do you think they will always be doing same things, like correct things? No. There are so many problems that happens, and a lot of companies are suffering because of that. So that's why we need AI governance. And what is AI governance then? Set of rules, processes, responsibilities that guide how AI is built, deployed, and used. What can go wrong with AI agents? Number one, the unknown territory. You cannot manage what you cannot see. So what it means, when you employ a human, what happens? You say like, come over tomorrow and start working. Does it happen? No, you have something called onboarding process. In that process, you give them an ID, you give them the username, password, and then what they can do, like authentication and authorization, identity, all those things you give them. So you can track what they are doing and how they are doing, right? So unknown territory. So similarly, AI agents, you cannot allow them to work like this, right? Number two is unmanaged autonomy. Do you want an employee, let's say you recruited a salesperson in your organization, and then now say go sell it, and now what is happening, this guy is free to go to sell. So now he's going to Hawaii, saying that I have a meeting with a client there, and then he flies that guy also, and then Hawaii, and they're spending a lot of money. That means this is unmanaged. Do you do that? But people don't know that AI agents are doing this kind of stuff. We'll talk about that a little more. Number three risk is unvast execution. Do you want an employee who is sleeping? I know nobody is watching them. No, right? You cannot do that. So this is risk number three. So we talked about three risks. Number one is the unknown territory. You cannot. You have to have username and password for the agents, and then you have to give them autonomy based upon what they should be doing, and then they should not be unvast. We have to. There has to be somebody watching what AI agents are doing. So the Mendes new job is you don't need to become an AI engineer. People usually think that, oh, I'm a manager, I'm a non-techie guy, and now I have to learn coding because I don't know Python, I don't know what is LLM is, all those things. No, managers don't have to know this. You only have to know how AI agents are your employee, digital employees. How do you manage your human employees, and what is different that you have to learn so that you can manage digital employees. Three big moves from managers. From the risk, we said name it. That means give an identity to all the agents. Every agent needs an owner and defined roles. So there has to be a boss for every agent too, and that boss, I personally say, has to be human. Otherwise, people are saying the boss of the another agent is also another. A boss of an agent is another agent. And there is an, I don't know how many of you know that paperclip.ai. If you have heard of, that's kind of a software where you can develop the whole company, like a CEO and then another agent working under him, COO, CFO, and then under them team. The whole team you can create using paperclip.ai. So think about that, what wrong they can do if they are not watched, right? And if there is no limit to it. So we have to limit the boundaries before agents hits them. What can that be? Limit. Your agents are using AI behind the scene. That means they are calling APIs. That means they are consuming tokens. Tokens are very expensive. If you must have heard about a fable. The fable man came fable 5 day for yesterday, or maybe 3 days ago, and I got so excited. Oh, my things are becoming so fast. And in the evening, I saw $53 were charged to me. And I teach these things, and it did happen to me itself, right? So we have to limit. Big move number one.
Name it. So if you have an agent in your ecosystem, there has to be a name assigned. It should not be just any anonymous agent, like an anonymous employee walking in your territory. So then what are the things in this naming? First, there should be a name of the agent, and then there should be an owner, and that owner is not an agentic owner, it's a human owner. Second, defined purpose. That means what will the agent do? That you have to define right in the beginning. And also what tasks are allowed, what the agent is allowed to do, and also what the agent is not allowed to do.
How many
Sanjay?
people are familiar with the bill of materials? This is a concept in every company, or maybe mainly in supply chain companies. We have that. So similarly, now we have to have AI bill of materials. By the way, this is the picture from my book. I have about 111 pictures like this. That my book is coming soon. It's called Verdict Framework. So Niharika and I have been writing this book for about a year. This is going to be released in a week or so. It was supposed to be released yesterday, day for yesterday actually, but we are running late. So we came up with 72 concepts like this. This is one of them. But just before launching, I thought there are more concepts. Let's research. So then I did a deep research in 3, 4 places and came to know there were 12 more concepts. So that's why our book is released. But if you're interested, you can keep checking the website verdictframework.com. So AI bill of material is same thing. Like every agent, you have to know what kind of models they are using behind the scene, what kind of data they were trained on, what are the tools and components they are using, and honor and lineage, right? Who is the honor of that? So this has to be managed at the move number one. And then also agent registry. For example, humans, when they come to your organization, they join, they are given identity, as I said, right? Username and password, and then email, and then a badge, which room you can go, which you cannot go. Same, what happens there? They are registered in LDAP, if you're a little technical. So similarly, agent registry has to be there. They have to be treated as if they are the human employees. And then I just talked about every agent has an identity. We should know what is the username and password, or what is the username, and everything has so that we can log everything. If anything goes wrong, we can go back, check the logs, and find out who did what, who's doing good job, who's doing bad job. Then big move number 2, Niharika.
Is now you have an agent, you have named it, now you have to watch it. That means it's not that you have just given approval for the agent and you are done. No, there is supervision required. That means you are not just approving the agent once, you are supervising it throughout the entire life cycle. And what do you have to do? What are the tangible actions? First, there should be an activity log that logs what that agent is doing. Then second, there should be a human escalation path also. That means there, if the agent is doing something and there is a something goes wrong, it has to be escalated to a human. And third is performance review. Like the way you do the performance review of your human employees, same way performance review must be done for agents.
And what can be in the performance review? Right now, how much tokens is it eating? What it is producing based upon those tokens? Is it a quality work? Is it drifting? But there is a huge problem in AI systems that over the period of time when we use them, they learn something. And then based upon that bad learning, they start drifting their behavior. Because of the in the context, I have to say that there was Amazon recruiting tool, HR tool that was recruiting people, and genuinely it happened that more engineers were male. So since it has a brain, right? So it learned subconsciously that if it is an engineer, it has to be male. Then it started doing wrong things. It started rejecting females. So that means we have to watch those kind of, this is just the one of the 100 things, right? So we have to watch for the performance. In these cases, there has to be human in the loop. We cannot give full authority, full control to humans, to agents. If it is like very like a sensitive issue, that decision has to be made. For example, I always give this example because everybody knows about it. So you apply for a loan, and then what happens? A lot of things happen. The bank employees, then they check your credit score, and then how much balance you have, what kind of assets you have, and then a lot of things that they happen. And then some employee then will say, okay, your loan is approved. If an AI agent is doing that for you, think about that. It learned something over the period of time. For example, there are certain zip codes in United States that are blacklisted to be not paying back money. So if I happen to be a nice guy, but my zip code is become there, I started living there, my loan will be rejected because the AI agent learned that, right? If that happens, what will I do? I will file a case against them that they are doing discrimination. So company, the bank will be in, it'll have a bad name. So that's why there has to be human in the loop. All that things like research and everything, it'll AI agents will do that, but the final decision should be in humans' hand if it is a sensitive decision. We also have to say model performance scorecard. We talked about what is performance, like drifting. There's something called hallucinations, where the AI agents come up with something which is not true. So we have to keep checking all these parameters, that how the performance, how each agent is performing on every parameter. Now, number 3 is
Next, limit it. That means there has to be boundaries. Autonomy needs boundaries. Yes, we have told agent to do something, but there has to be boundary on what agent can do and what agent cannot do. So for example, one is tools and spending limits. That means what tools is it accessing and then how much is it spending. For example, if you have given access to your Gmail to look at some specific types of emails, but then it should not have this authority or autonomy to just delete your emails. So that's where you set down boundaries. Second is, what are data access rules? That means what data it can access and what it cannot. And then third is escalation triggers. If something wrong happens, who will be notified and what will be the action?
so execution caps. There has to be limits for every run that is doing. Every run has a finish line, that you cannot just keep working. If you achieve your goal, you cannot keep calling tokens. There have to be always caps. Humans cannot work more than 8 to 10 hours or sometimes a little more, but agents can keep working 24/7 every whole year, something like that. But if they are doing anything wrong, there has to be a caps, right? Number 2, token budget, as we talked about, that there has to be a limit for that. Whether whatever good job you're doing, the company cannot keep spending on your creativity, right? So there has to be budget, tokens budget. And then these are the third things. So we talked about 3 risks and their solutions. When you say cyberedx.com here, that means that's our company. I'm the founder and CEO of that. And as part of this, we teach AI governance to corporates on Maven. We write books. We have been best-selling author, and my next book is coming, which is ahead of its time. It's Dr. PK, who is with us right now. He has also written a book on AI governance for finance, but ours is coming, the concepts, 82 concepts that everybody should know before developing your AI agents or agentic AI. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble. So this is about a few percent of our book. And now introducing the book that we're writing, the Verdict Framework. It's your complete playbook for governing AI agents from launch to live supervision. So verdict means VERDICT. V is validation. That means test it before it works. So there are about 16 principles that we have included as part of validation. And then next is evidence. Keep records automatically. If anything goes wrong, there are regulators like EU AI Act. They can charge you a lot of money. So you have to have evidence of why something happened. And then runtime control. Traditional IT systems, they have production support team, but it's not probabilistic. It's always the as I said, 2 plus 2 is always 4 in traditional. But in AI systems, it can be different also. So runtime control is necessary. And then these decisions, track choices it makes, the decisions that were made. And then identity. I actually is the first thing. The first thing is that we have to give identity to all the agents, and there are 7 8 principles about that. How do we do that? And then cost and compliance. C is, I said, token cost. We have to make sure who is spending how much money and are they compliant to their relevance acts, for example, EU AI Act or maybe California Act, GDPR, or there are so many, right? And then transparency. Make it visible to people affected. So one of the things that I would like to mention here that if in EU, that means European Union, if a person is using an AI system, he or she has to know that I'm using AI system. There has to be transparency. You cannot say that, oh, it was used behind the scene. There were so many. I forgot to mention that there was AI. There was a huge fine for that. So this is my framework. We actually teach that also as part of our course that is coming over. We are starting a course on what, when, Niharika?
It's next Sunday. It's June 21st, our next cohort.
But that's a separate thing. Let's talk about today, what we learned so far. Monday morning checklist, Niharika.
Yeah, so now we are in exciting times, and now it is up to us whether we fear it or we embrace it. So now let's go on the journey where we embrace this new future. So here, Monday morning, what we have to know is what AI tools are in your company, what AI agents are in your company. There has to be a name, and there has to be a team, and there has to be accountability. Then second, whatever AI tools or agents, you have to know what it can do, what it can say, what it can act on, what it can access, and what it can spend. And third, who can stop it? Who is the person, accountability person, who can pause or shut it down if something wrong happens? And if you can't answer all three, you have a governance gap. And that's what now we have to, as managers, we have to fill this gap by asking these questions. And why this matters for you? Because now the future belongs to the managers who can say AI, who can say yes to AI with confidence. And you can say yes to AI with confidence only when you know governance, because governance gives you that confidence. Because engineers will be building and their job is to build, their job is to innovate. But as managers, we have to see how to govern things and see the things which the other team members cannot. We have our AI governance boot camp coming up. There is one which is starting on June 21st, Sunday. That is a weekend batch. We also have a weekday batch which will start on July 6th. So, what are we going to cover? First thing is we are going to cover this framework for managing agentic AI. Second, we'll prepare you for AIGP. It's AI Governance Professional Certification. It is by IAPP, the International Association of Privacy Professionals. In the bootcamp, there will be 6 live sessions and office hours. And fourth, you will get early access to our book on verdict framework, and also you'll get access to the community of AI governance practitioners.
One thing that I would like to mention here that the verdict framework is the first one ever. There's no framework in the market for governing agentic AI. And if you are knowing those concepts, you as a managers, you will be way ahead in your career. Not even manager, any role, any kind of role that you're working in any company, it doesn't have to be IT company. Problems are happening in other companies, finances, healthcare, supply chain. So everywhere these principles are going to be used.
Yes, all the companies are building agents. And then become the professional, become the manager who is ready to govern digital employees. So we are giving 30% off for the webinar attendees. You can use the code Agentic. The link is here, and also there is QR code here to sign up for the cohort.